611. Mr. Chairman Rogers.
Alderman Smith.
Mr. Williams.
Lewis Williams, controller.
All right. We're reviewing the, stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag, to the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Finance agenda. Yeah, call the order at 6:11. Well, Ms. Lewis, we only have one bill to us for today's date, April 28th, to discuss. I had an opportunity over the weekend to review some of the line items. There was maybe one or two that stuck out. Maybe you could give us a brief synopsis on what they are. I was looking for our water storm drain truck that the city owns. It's noticed that it's always in the shop for repairs, but we've been leasing one. Okay, do you have any indication on how long hours it's gonna be in the shop for repairs? Or?
All I know is I think we paid up another almost $50,000 to get it out. I'm not sure why.
To get hours out.
Yeah.
And what was that dollar amount for to lease?
$50,000, yeah. Just
The company that we use.
the company we're using, I know Aries had done the last, but they back truck. Aries, which is under the sewer department. So we didn't lease one, we just been having an outside service do it.
There's been a lot of residents that seem to be comfortable with when we have a heavy rain, that truck is able to come over there and pump those sewers out. And I don't know, it just kind of makes the problems go away. Whether or not we're leasing it or we have one.
We have one. I know it was down in repair for a while. Some preventive maintenance issues.
Okay,
So then it is repaired, is what you're saying.
this is,
To my knowledge, a question better directed at Rick Seven.
okay. We'll do.
But I'm not aware of any outstanding obligation at this point.
That, special events, the line dancing, we paid Deborah Jeffers. Is that a once a month invoice that for the seniors? Do we do that once a month?
I'm not sure how much it does. I think we do it weekly.
Yeah.
Should be a series of bills.
There is.
Yeah, no, she does that weekly.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Each one designates a different week.
How often do they have line dancing?
I don't know that. Now that you can direct to Joe Winnington.
Are there,
You know?
no, I had a question. Sorry.
Same question. The probably was one of the businesses, it's in different locations.
So each one designates a different week.
Yeah, and a different, every single, where we go.
You want to ask Mr. Lewis about that line item with the
Yes, I
police
do.
department,
Yes, I do.
6060?
132, 6060, the in bullet resistant glass.
I'm sorry, what is it now?
It's preferred woodland door in bullet resistant glass.
Yeah, that's for 17,000.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's for the windows that got broke out, the crime center, the new crime center with all merchants back is.
Really?
Yeah,
The building itself?
they broke the glass in the front.
Okay.
Blue Crown Center window is broken.
Matter of fact, it's still not repaired. I think that glass is on water.
So they're getting bulletproof.
Yeah.
It wasn't bulletproof at first?
Probably not with the bank, I'm not sure. It may have been.
Right. Okay. Then the other one had is equipment purchases for 214,000.
That's equipment for the crime center.
What type of equipment?
All type of, all the screens, computers,
Okay.
cameras.
Okay.
Basically, in the crime center, again, Chief Biddy can give you additional information. Basically, have cameras throughout the city.
Right.
We'll be able to monitor crime.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Right. That's what I was about to refer to as this crime center is going to be like a real-time
Yeah, real-time crime center, yeah.
real-time crime
So
center
we'll actually sell the services to businesses and other people
that have Ring doorbells.
that have any type of cameras. We'll be able to, so we'll be able to monitor the outside.
There, okay.
And for instance, Oak Brook Terrace has one of the larger crime centers, and they actually oversee Oak Brook Mall. So if you're out there and you don't see all the police cars, that's because they watching you 24/7.
Yeah, I think City of St. Louis and the City of Gary, Indiana also have.
So when you see people come up, for instance, it's all tied into license plate readers. You see people who are, for instance, it's been great with the schools out there. You get people who aren't supposed to be near schools for various reasons. When they show up, you're able to see that plate, send someone out.
Yeah, here's that sewer jet truck at a cost of $20,000.
Is that on the public works?
It's under outside services, that's under
Sewer.
public works, yeah.
Yeah,
Under public works.
you say for 25.
Yeah, $20,300.
143, right?
Yeah.
That's an error. It should be on the sewer department.
Yeah, because I don't see it, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking.
It should be on the sewer fund.
So, Ms. Lewis, these are at the end of Bill's list, under general funds, motor funds, sewer funds, water funds, grants and capital projects.
That's
These
just the totals.
These are what we
The
could
totals,
Yeah.
yeah. Totals of the biggest list.
Yes, sir. Okay. Alderman Smith, do you have any further questions for Mr. Lewis?
No, no, no. Those are the two major ones.
Alderwoman Chapman, since you're here in attendance, do you have any questions?
Want to let the treasurer go, she had a previous question and she wanted to ask. So we can go with her and then I'll take it away.
All right, so I guess with the line dancing, the weekly, they keep showing up, which we understand they provide new service for the seniors. But for the date range that this seems to be excessive for this to be weekly. It would be helpful if you put like the date for the invoice. I don't know if she gives invoices or how.
Yeah,
how
she
it's-
gives invoices. I was under the impression they did put date description on them. Well, I'll tell her to clarify that. Sometimes they don't submit the invoices. So we put the invoices in through receipt.
Okay.
I think that was it.
Treasurer Pickett, you got anything else?
No, that was it.
Alderwoman Chapman, you got something?
Mr. Williams, this is probably one of the most consistent statements I've had since approval of my reimbursement back in July 2020. And when I go across the buildings, I see reimbursements for you, and I've seen reimbursements for Alderman Rogers. I've seen reimbursements for Alderwoman Smith.
No,
And-
you're not correct. I haven't been talking to
Right, they misclassified it, and then when they reclassified it after my point out, that was when you get a mailer, and the mailer was underneath the city,
okay.
but it was supposed to be underneath.
Okay.
Right, so maybe they reimbursed because they paid for it, but nonetheless, what could I do at this point to get some intel, some insight? You know, this is like similar to, but I don't get any interest collected on mine, right? Similar to like the audit that we just got on behalf of Mendoza's office that's, you know, costing us X amount of dollars. So it behooves me how we can pay out to all these various folks from line dancing to your reimbursements and Mr. Whittington for senior services to the alderpersons. I'm the only alderperson out of 6 that has not been reimbursed entirely since May 8th of 2023. And I've researched the home rule law. There's no law that prohibits the mayor from withholding my funds for the ward. Because these aren't personal expenses. When I've looked over people's personal expenses, they have the cleaners on their gas. Mine is strictly all aldermanic expenses. So I'm just trying to figure out what's a means to an end, because that isn't allocated. When we go into 2023's, when we go into that audit process with Kaspersky, those are the things that you're going to be detailing and looking at how the funds allocated. And if these were additional funds, how would they have been allocated or where? If my funds were reallocated, you know, to support some specific thing here in the city that is needed, it's like, I can hear that, but to hear nothing, at this point, we're coming up now in 2 days, this is the end of our 23-24 fiscal year. So just trying to understand before the next 2 days, what could be a word of advice? Or Chairman, do you have any words of advice regarding this or any insight?
Well, yeah, your question is a valid question. I don't think that Mr. Lewis Williams is going to be able to shed any light on why you haven't been reimbursed for your automatic expense. That's
How'd you
something.
get your check from? Just out of curiosity, if I may.
Well, the last time I've gotten one was months ago, and it was in my mailbox.
Right, but did you disperse that check?
I make recommendations on who gets paid.
Well, no, it wouldn't be a regular.
No,
it's a
I make
recommendation.
recommendations
Okay.
on who gets paid, and administration makes the decision on who.
That's what I was about to say.
Well, can I-
Alderman Chapman, you might want to have some dialogue with somebody from the mayor's office, or maybe the
I've
mayor.
had a running dialogue. You're CC'd on it, on some previous emails that I sent at that time, and you're definitely CC'd on everything. And when you say you make a recommendation, how is a recommendation made on something that's already allocated annually?
I recommend that it be paid, and they decide if they're gonna pay it. When I present them with a checklist of potential disbursements, say these are the bills I decide to pay, they decide who they're gonna pay and not gonna pay.
And so, had you made a recommendation on my behalf for the second ward reimbursement for the
Yes,
second
I
ward?
have, of course I have.
Okay, so thank you for shedding light on that you did make that recommendation. You know, when we last spoke, it was regarding, you said the taxes, the taxes.
No, I mean,
You said-
every alderman, Alderman Rogers, when he submits bills, sometime I say, gotta wait till these taxes come in,
Right.
gotta wait that comes in.
You mean sometimes, all the time, maybe
Right.
wait all the time.
Yeah, well,
I just thought to ask, my only other thing is, I thought that this admin would be underneath mayoral expenses was, because the question, I had the same question about CBW, but you answered that, so thank you. The membership to the African American Mayors Association, I would just think that would be categorized underneath mayor, not Department 102 admin, since that's something specific to the mayor. But that was my only other concern.
All right, well, thanks for your questions, and is there a recommendation to accept the bills list as is, let's signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it, so we will ratify this bills list with the rest of the city
You
council
got a
meeting.
question? Oh, you got, the public had a question.
Yeah, we were just about to open up for public comment. Okay.
I didn't know you were running something.
Okay, so my first question is, that insurance claim for that broken window that cost $17,000, would that be reimbursable through the insurance company? I'm sure there's insurance on that bill. I don't think that that's a $17,000 expense that the residents should have to repair. I'm sure that building is assured, and you should check before you approve that $17,000 payment. Secondly, you mentioned that sometimes the invoices are submitted and sometimes they're not. So are you making the reimbursements whether you have an invoice or not?
absolutely not.
Okay, clarification. Okay, my next one is there a delinquency report?
Delinquency on finances?
Yes, that's what a delinquency report is.
No, ma'am. No,
There's not an agent report?
no,
Every place has an agent report.
no, we get current bills.
So all the bills, I know all the bills aren't paid because she just said she's not being reimbursed.
Okay.
Being reimbursed.
The
They
ones-
only go 30, 60, 90 plus.
Ma'am, the ones that's on this list, those are being paid. Yeah.
So there are no delinquencies. Everything in the whole city.
At least I don't get an opportunity to see what's delinquent. I get the bills that's
I'm
supposed
asking you
to.
as a finance manager, you have access to. That's a question you should be asking. You should, as a manager, finance manager, that's a report you should be receiving monthly.
Duly noted.
There's no excuse for that.
Duly noted, ma'am.
Yes. I'm sure the controller right here can send you that report. Because that report has to go to somebody.
Mr. Lewis.
And unless everything is current, you got 1 to 30 days. You got your 60 day and 90-day bucket. Now, unless everything the whole city of Harvey is paid for, there's definitely an agent report. Delinquency. They both mean the same thing.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Mr. Williams, since you're still here, I mean, because this isn't to do with the agenda, I'm just curious, where are you with our audit though? And like, but I saw, your correspondence, so you let them know that we already have solicited a firm. But I guess in looking forward, future, I reported this out on February 10th. Just that's currently costing us over $100,000. So in total, it'll be about $500,000 or so. It's because it's 160, so it'll be about $500,000
Where did you get that number from?
from the engagement letter.
For 160?
Yeah, it said 160 per audit. Every time they do an audit.
I didn't think it said 160 per audit.
But I'm just saying, just our punctuality on it. It's like, what could be done? What could you advise the finance chair that, or like, say we could do? to, like-
Let's be clear. The records of the city of Hardy are always ready to be audited. And let's be clear, I don't have any preference who the auditor is. We asked, the first place, like I said, when I walked in here 11 years ago, the city was behind 7 audits and we got them all current. What happened is people have gotten out of the business. As a matter of fact, when the state sent around the thing saying Parada was going to come in to do the fourth audit, I had talked to Parada back over a year ago and asked her was she interested in doing all that, because it's a small world, so you know, we all know each other.
It's funny you mentioned that. I was at an engagement and I had an opportunity to speak with our current auditors, John Kasperi,
Yeah.
in his firm. And he told me they were so bogged down behind.
Yeah.
You know, the municipalities that need to be audited are up here, and the auditing firms are way down here.
I mean,
They just don't have enough to keep
Go on
up.
the state controller's website and see all the cities across the state that are delinquent.
I did, and all of our neighboring towns have it, but my concern is just specific for Hardy. I'm just trying to.
I get it,
figure out
but the problem is not, we're not ready to have an audit done.
Uh-huh.
The problem is finding someone to do it.
Well,
Because when we had Almond, Lauterbach and Almond coming here, they were able to come in here and commit and get the 7 audits that were behind when I walked in the door done. And each year by October, they were able to do a report because we were able to get in their schedule. Like I said, Kasperi, I mean, even what he's saying in terms of the future audits, basically he's pushing us out into damn near 26 to get these audits done.
Yeah.
And so I told, again, I talked to a young lady at the controller's office who's over local governmental, and I said, if Parada has the staff to come in and do the audits after John gets finished with fiscal 22, I welcome anyone who will come in and do fiscal 23 and fiscal 24, and now we're about to end fiscal 25 on a more timely basis, and I'm good with it. I don't care who the auditors are.
Yeah,
Understood.
same, I'm more so concerned with the price.
But like I said, but
As far as equal with the
it's
other
timely the
things.
number of firms gets, Lauterbach and I been cut back on the number they were doing, and we gone to cut back on the ones they were doing in these, you know, the communities where the money doesn't flow as well, because they don't do Dalton anymore, so a lot of those communities they don't do Riverdale anymore. So it's fine, and then we had GWA come in and do 2 years audits. They got completely out of the audit business.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there's nothing in finance that's slowing up these audits. And then, like I said, it becomes time consuming, right now you asked me about the audit. The attorneys have to provide us some legal letters. There's a lot of information that you have to get from third parties that again can bog down the audit, the legal letters and things like that.
Alderwoman Cheney, your primary question was how much is the auditing firm charging the city of Hartford?
No, remember I stated the cost. I said, what can we do to not continue to take on increasingly high costs for completing the audit late? Like what could be done, or what could you do as the chair? What could be done as the comptroller, the treasurer, whomever?
The market determines the price. Unfortunately, the cost for municipalities has gone up because, to be honest with you, the auditing standards have gone up, and that's why so many people have, and other things that's driving up the cost is this. You know, I've had over 70 employees. I can tell you this, but what people are paying entry-level people right now makes this auditing stuff pretty expensive. Just a short 3 years ago, you could pay people coming out of college $60,000 a year with accounting degrees. That number is closer to 80 now.
Mr. Lewis, I have a question that's pretty pertinent right now. You may be able to answer it. We've had some incidents with residents being attacked by dogs, and I've spoken with the mayor about it, and I've spoken with his administrative assistant, Ms. Davis, in regards to the same issue. We have I was under the impression that because I was willing to sponsor an ordinance to bring animal control back. Come to find out that animal control never left. We just don't have anybody to actually do it. Is it budgeted into the police department to bring somebody in as a professional dog catcher to come in and do animal control?
It's just like finding officers, period. You know, we've sent so many through school to do this, and what happens is, again, it's market conditions. You know, just a short, again, 4 or 5 years ago, a competitive starting salary was $60,000. Hell, my competitive starting salaries are pretty close to $90,000. So obviously people gonna go where the pay is the greatest and the work is the least.
So your recommendation would be we would have to increase any individual that comes into Harvey to do actual animal control.
Yeah, and again, that's all, we just can't increase the salaries because all that's, I think that animal control was it's not a sworn police officer, so it's,
No, it's not. Mr. Lopez was doing it, he
I
left.
know Lopez did it for years, yeah.
Yeah, for years.
Right.
You know, my,
So I think that he would be covered by asking y'all to leave. And again, you just can't go raising salaries, because then they want everybody to get a raise.
well, to work as animal control in Harvey as opposed to doing it in Oak Forest is totally different. Because people are bringing stray dogs to Harvey and letting them loose. When they don't want them no more, they don't want to take them to the Anti-Cruelty Society, they bring them to Harvey and drop them off. Now, what in turn, what's happened, you know, we got a pack of dogs. We don't have 1 or 2 strays. We got 6, 8 dogs running around and they're terrorizing. The weather's about to get warmer. We want to make sure our children are safe as they play in the playgrounds or walk the street or wherever they do during that period when school is out. So that's one of my biggest things right now that's on my plate is animal control. I would love to see, so I guess we'll have to have more dialogue and see what we can do to kind of raise the pay to get somebody in here that's professional and knows how to catch these dogs, whether or not they tranquilize them or I don't know, whatever they do to them. But that's one of the things I think we should talk about. And if you have any resources or any information that we could use as far as that, then it'd be greatly appreciated.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Okay, with that, we're gonna make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:38. All in favor? Aye. Ayes have it. And thank you all for coming. Greatly appreciate it.